Evening, everyone. In this segment of the First World War, we're going to be stepping away from the Western Front and we're going to be discussing some of the elements that took place in the war in Southern and in Southeastern Europe, contributions that were made by the nations of Italy and of Romania. Now, they were not lesser contributions, they just tend to fall in the background when sometimes other people look at the other contributions of the larger nations and the larger empires. Now, this is 1914, to back up a little bit. Italy is actually bound by treaty, much like everyone else. But this one there that got the whole quagmire going with the whole alliance mess. Italy is one of the few nations who actually showed signs of not just falling in based on a piece of paper. A lot of it was Italy chose not to support their allies. And those allies were Germany and Austria-Hungary. They chose not to mobilize the Italian army. They chose not to send their men to the front. They chose to declare a formal position of neutrality in 1914. And so what happened was the British and the French, as you know, they were bogged down in 1915 by entrenched warfare. Like the whole Western Front, it was just a big mess. Nothing good was happening. The lines weren't moving. Everyone was stopped. The French and the British had to get the initiative somewhere. They decided to bring other people into the war, particularly in the south and in the southeast. They approached Italy and they offered the Italian government control of the areas on the Adriatic Sea that were part of Austria-Hungary. The Italian government really liked this idea, and quite frankly, it can be said that the Italian government sold out to the highest bidder. And in 1915, they actually officially declared war on Austria-Hungary. Now, and in Germany. Now, the only thing was there was only one spot that could really fight because the Alps in that area they go straight up. There's only really one area on the border between Italy and Austria-Hungary where it was possible for them to fight. It's in the Anzanzo region. During the time when Italy was fighting Austria-Hungary, there were 11 battles in that particular area. Now, what it was an area of really sharp, jagged rocks. And what would happen is when the cannons would hit those rocks, the rocks would explode and basically form like a canister and machine gun fire everywhere. It was just a complete mess. It didn't actually come to the full entrenched warfare that it became in the West, but Italy got involved when they really did not need to. They could have just simply stayed out. But one thing it did do for the central against the Central Powers was it pulled troops from Austria-Hungary from the eastern border against Russia and sent them straight down to the southern border to fight Italy. So that actually helped the Russians a little bit, and the Russia actually is pretty close to knocking Austria-Hungary out of the war. So that is one contribution that happened from that. More on that to come.